Chelsea had big moments in that game. Big moments. Like Cole Palmer had a shot as well. It might have been like the 88th minute. And I'm thinking, just whistled past, I think Kelleher's right or left-hand side. It's just fine margins. It's so fine. And look, Klopp's going to get all the plaudits, and we're going to talk about Van Dijk and Konate and Endo. It was a close game of football. Again, it was a close game of football between the two. You look at me like I'm mad.
No, you're right. It was close, but it shouldn't have been close, should it? Chelsea should have been head and shoulders above Liverpool. Liverpool were there for the taking. Liverpool it was a very beatable Liverpool team. The vast majority of Premier League teams, if they were to face that Liverpool team, that iteration of Liverpool on that day with Gravenberch going off injured and all that, Salah watching from the stands, Núñez watching from the stands, Jota unavailable, virtually every single Premier League team in the top half would fancy themselves against that Liverpool in that context. Top half. Well, I mean, look, if we're being pedantic, we are in the top half. We're 10th, which is top half.
You're 10th, what you was 11th. Apologies.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'd say teams in the top.
No, what I'm trying to say is that
most Premier League teams.
It's not a good Chelsea team at the moment.
No, it's not.
It's not a good Chelsea team.
No, it's
good in terms of on paper and recent run of results, but you know as well.
The players available for Chelsea should have beaten them simply by virtue of us knowing who the vast majority of the Chelsea team are. Like Liverpool were forced to play a team that people hadn't heard of. Like nobody would have expected that team. If I were to say to virtually anybody, like true football fans, even Liverpool fans, name the team, name every player that will feature, nobody's going to say Dan's.
No.
Nobody.
You're struggling, yeah, you do. You struggle.
And the thing is, Liverpool had no option but to bring on players like that, young players. So it's all very well going Chelsea had a young team. Chelsea's young team are our first team. Liverpool's young team were their like PL2 team.
Yeah.
You know, it was completely incomparable. And somehow those players have come in and totally adopted the mentality that is the Liverpool first team. They've come in, they've been strong, they've been bold, they've been brave, they've been decisive, they've been daring, and they've fought from start to finish.
That's what I wanted from these young players as well. Like, I don't even mind that Conor Bradley, Ben Chilwell situation. Like, okay, fight.
I mind that.
I love it. No, you certainly should mind.
I mind that.
I'm loving it. I'm liking fight. I want to see a bit of fight. Don't run. Don't shivel. Don't get scared because it's an England pro experience, big money signing. Have a battle.
Look, do you know what? It doesn't even matter who's right and wrong in that situation with the foul, right? I'm sure that Chilwell was right and wrong. I'm sure that Bradley was right and wrong. But ultimately, we learned so much about that team in that moment. And what we actually learned is we learned that Liverpool are a team. When you think about the definition of the word team, what it actually means. Liverpool are a team. Gakpo comes flying over, Harvey Elliott comes flying over, and Chelsea are a collection of individuals. Chelsea are a collection of employees who happen to operate under the same umbrella of an institution. We aren't a team. Nobody's fighting for one another. Nobody's desperate to do the best for one another. Nobody is prioritising the other person. Everybody's sort of looking after themselves. Everybody, and that was demonstrated on many occasions. There was many occasions for that. In that fight situation, everybody sort of looked after themselves from a Chelsea perspective. When the goal goes in, you got Disasi, the cheek of him. He had a terrible game, and he's looking at Mudryk and blaming him.
Saw that.
And look, I'm no fan of Mudryk. I think Mudryk's a woeful footballer. I think he'll leave. I desperately want him to leave. He's been one of the worst signings the Premier League's ever seen. But how dare you blame him for that situation? Mudryk's my height. Disasi's meant to be commanding the box. How can Disasi try and insulate himself from criticism? I'm all right, Jack. And look at Mudryk. And a few of them did it. A few of them kind of got on a bandwagon with Disasi. It's shambolic. And the reason I think that we are so lacking and we aren't a team is because of Mauricio Pochettino. Jurgen Klopp ensures that there is a team. He makes sure that the team... Everything Jurgen Klopp does is to try and galvanise. It's to try and build team spirit.
But is that through one been at the club for 9 years and one been at the club for 9 months?
No.
No?
Because Postecoglou has built a team. I'd even say Eddie Howe has built a team. Whether it's working or not, he's built a team. Do you know what, Eddie? I saw years ago the story, right? When Jimmy Greaves played in Milan, played for AC Milan, he played for AC against Inter, and there was this massive fight on the pitch involving like both keepers charging at each other and getting involved. Big issue. When that fight happened, Jimmy Greaves didn't get involved. Right, apparently he's doing kick-ups on the halfway line on his own, right? Sitting on the ball, just watching it all go off. Eventually, the ref gets control, the game goes on. Jimmy Greaves got fined 2 weeks' wages by AC Milan.
For not jumping in.
For not backing his team, for not fighting for his team. And I think that now we seem to enjoy this like sanitized approach to the game. People like to maybe demonstrate their moral compass by going, disgraceful scenes at the football.
No, mate. I'm not joking. As soon as that Conor Bradley thing happened, there's two people I was waiting to run over. Konate and Van Dijk. I'm like, get the biggest boys over now.
But you don't have to be the biggest. There's nothing wrong. Dennis Wise would have been over there. Dennis Wise would have had Conor Bradley round the throat. Dennis Wise would have had him round the throat. Jody Morris would have had him round the throat. Michael Essien wasn't a big man. He was a strong man. He wasn't a big man. You'd have had him round the throat.
It's a different Chelsea.
Michael Ballack doing in that situation? What's Frank Lampard doing in that situation? What's Alex Rodrigo doing in that situation? What's John Terry doing in that situation? That's a team. This lot, where's Enzo Fernandez? Coward. Where is he? Moises Caicedo meant to be a geezer, right? Meant to have it. Coward. Where are they? Ben Chilwell's being bullied on the wing by a couple of youngsters. Like Harvey Elliott, despite being about for a while, 20, man. Yeah. Harvey Elliott's massively giving it the big one, right? And Ben Chilwell's sort of half fighting it on his own. Conor Gallagher's come over and tried to give it a bit, but the reason that this happens is because of Jurgen Klopp, and it's the difference between Klopp and Pochettino. So Klopp goes over. Everything Klopp does is designed to make a team, isn't it? You know, he does that cheering thing.
He knows what he's doing.
That is us versus the world.
He did it from the first game against West Brom, and everyone laughed. Remember, I think we got a draw at West Brom late, and we went up. And it wasn't at Anfield. This was at West Brom, so this is at the Hawthorns. And he's done it, and everyone's like, what's he doing? And he knows what he's doing. He's starting to...
It's making a team, making the fans on the same page as the players on the same page as FSG, and everyone us versus the world.
Yeah, we're in this together.
Everything Klopp does is designed for that. Everything Pochettino does is designed for the opposite. Pochettino is flirting with Tottenham the day before we play them. How's that building a team unity at Chelsea? How is that getting everyone on the same hymn sheet? How is that good for team morale? Our manager is talking to the opposition and wishing that he was there.
He said... we were playing for penalties. It's almost like as if to indicate they were tired because they started to drop deeper and deeper. And I'm thinking, 1 second, you're tired? This is the Liverpool team that played midweek.
Do you know what I think is quite worrying as well? I don't think it was him. I don't think it was Pochettino saying play for penalties. I think it's him acknowledging that the players naturally played for penalties.
Yeah. I don't think which means them to push up.
Which means that they're doing what they want.
When you look at it that way, yeah.
Which means that so he's going attack and they're going, "Now you're all right."
Yeah, we'll sit back and take this one.
Because they're cowards. To a man. Like, in that situation, particularly somebody like Enzo Fernandez, needs to be taking the game on, controlling the game. You know, the ebb and flow of a football match, particularly two top teams at Wembley. The ebb is coming, right? It's on them. They're on the attack. That's Enzo Fernandez's cue to go, no, get me the ball, take control, determine the tempo of the game, make sure that you retain possession, make sure that you go on the attack, and be the bloke in the central centre of the park. Instead of that, he hid. If you watch the second half of extra time, Enzo Fernandez is not on the ball. He's not involved.
His legs have gone. His legs have run.
It's not about legs. I think you're being kind by saying legs. By saying legs, I think you're giving him an excuse because if it is genuine fatigue, there is nothing you can do about it. I don't think it is genuine fatigue. Why is he so knackered? Isn't Pochettino all about fitness? All about training hard? Isn't that what Pochettino's about? I mean, knackered. We play one game a week. We're out of we were never in Europe.
You know what surprised me was the performance of Endo. And I don't know if this is then luck on Liverpool's part, right? Because we weren't supposed to get Endo.
It's partly Klopp.
Caicedo.
Yeah.
And I do wonder, look at Caicedo. And obviously, look, he's had an awful season for you guys. But I do wonder, if we had signed him, would have Klopp
he'd be a
transformed? Yeah, he would.
Yeah,
he would.
I imagine Enzo Fernandez. If Enzo Fernandez was playing alongside Rodri or alongside Declan Rice,
because they are good players. Like I watched Caicedo last season. He can play football.
But do you know why Endo is a very good signing for you? It's partly because he's 30 years old. Like he's won the Bundesliga, so he knows he's 30 years old. He's a proper footballer. Yeah, he's captain Japan. Yeah, proper geezer. Like, we've got all these kids. You know what I think is really weird? I've had a look at some of our players because I don't know that much about them. You know when you put them into Wikipedia, you're like, how on earth? Like, you haven't done nothing. You've done nothing in the game. And you're playing central midfield for Chelsea, a Chelsea team that were champions of Europe, champions of the world 2.5 years ago. Like, even Caicedo's played like 40 Premier League games.
It's crazy, isn't it? Another thing I think with Liverpool, we'll land on this one, and you can it's a bit of a trivia question as well, so Jeremy, you can get involved if you want as well. I think Liverpool, and I was looking at this the other day, I think Liverpool have more captains in their squad than any team in the Premier League. In fact, any team in world football. So I do wonder, and obviously like Klopp is obviously the leader, but I do wonder when the going gets tough, because they've got so many real captains and leaders.
I'm surprised by that, because like Chelsea's best ever team was that. We were a team built on international captains.
Yeah, so I think we've got 6.
Like we had Michael Ballack in the Chelsea team and he wasn't captain. Do you know, like that's how good we are. We had Ashley Cole in the Chelsea team and he wasn't captain. We had Petr Cech in the team, he wasn't captain. We had Frank Lampard in the team, he wasn't captain. Drogba. When you're built on international captains, all of those players have captained their country.
Yeah. And that's what Liverpool have got now.
I didn't realise that was the case.
So we've got Salah, Egypt. Obviously, Szoboszlai, Hungary.
Yeah.
We've got Endo,
Virgil van Dijk.
Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
Alisson,
I don't know if he's captain of Brazil, but he's certainly capable of being captain of Brazil. Yeah.
Right. No, you think your boy is Thiago?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah, until...
Well, he was a big miss, by the way. I know you...
The thing is, it's very difficult because I love him.
He's 41.
But he's 40.
Is he 40?
Yeah, he's 40.
He's 40.
He's 40, and we have to play.
Let me tell you now, he would have pocketed Gakpo, who was awful yesterday.
Yeah, he was awful. He was awful. But I thought Axel Disasi was abysmal. Like, you know that chance when it hit his knee? I'm serious. This is mental, but I scored that. Do you know I was with Arsenal Robbie this morning? Right? I was with Robbie Lyle. I was with Robbie Lyle from AFTV this morning. Yeah. Do you know what he said to me? He's like, "Raw, I'm not even joking. I scored that."
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.